Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the comedy instructor and creative director for Laughter Zone 101, and your host and MC for tonight's show, Bannister.
Good evening, Lafflines. How you doing? Pretty good. So, are you excited, everyone? It's going to be a fun night. It's called Comedy Mental. May contain cracked nuts. And for those of you who don't know the explanation behind these classes, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Let's start with this. How many of you think you're normal? Those are the ones that usually need the most help. Right. How many of you all think you're just sitting on the edge of that brink where you're just going to snap anytime now? Right. Our future classes. Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, I've been working with this group for way too long. Really serious. It's like working with the Avengers. Have any of you seen that new movie? I never know who's going to show up in class. Half the time I got the Hulk there. And, you know, Wonder Woman some days. It's just crazy. It just goes on and on. But I myself was a psychiatric nurse. When I went into psych nurses training, my mother, who's a Belgian war bride, couldn't quite say all the words correctly and told everybody I was going to Vancouver to become a psychedelic nurse. I did that okay too. But Riverview was crazy because everywhere was locked up. There were guards everywhere and a lot of drugs. And that was just the nurse's residence. But I survived that, you know, it was all good. And comedy that we've been doing in these classes is about mental illness and mental wellness and all these terms that some of you like, some of you don't like. The words all change. When I was going through my nurses training, words that we used back then are not used now because they're offensive. But you guys got to relax because you're going to hear some words I'm sure you've never heard before. And they may be offensive, but get over it, okay? Seriously. Lighten up. That's what we're here for. And the comics have written all their own material. Yeah? Was that a comic or was someone just got out of the bathroom? So they started with nothing. They came into the classes and they told me a little bit about themselves. And that took about 3 weeks. And then they got to relax a little more, and they decided that, yeah, they thought they could have some fun here. And I will tell you, I've been doing this mental health program for about 6 years, and this has been the most collaborative group I've ever worked with, and the most supportive of each other. And you know what? Part of that's having you guys here tonight. So give yourselves a round of applause just for showing up here. Because you're a very, very important part of this package because they've been rehearsing, they've been tweaking their sets, they've been working in dark rooms. They've been working actually a little bit on this stage, but they've never had a live audience in front of them. So they're pretty nervous. 3 of them have tried to get out of their Spanx now because they can't breathe. That's the 2 guys we have on the show. But it's going to be fun. It really is. And your job, if you have it, is to be just to laugh and just enjoy the show. And you know, when I first started doing these shows, like I said, 6 years ago, and one of the comics walked out with an open back nightgown on and a noose in his hand and said to the audience, "There's something I was going to do today." But you know what? No one laughed. Because they all looked at each other and thought, "Are we allowed to laugh at that?" But we've educated a lot of audiences, because yes, you are allowed to laugh at this kind of comedy, because this is their reality. This is what they're here to share with you. The life you have to talk about is authentic, and you talk about it every day at your work, and you're just probably as boring as you can probably be. These guys have got some good stuff going on, and they want to tell you about it. So, like I say, you're going to have to share it. And comedy is about a lot of things. Comedy is about eating right and everything. I, for example, I'm trying to eat healthy all the time, so I'm into these grains. Anybody else into, you gotta... Actually, I challenge anybody in this room. Can you tell me these 12 grains? Anybody? No? No. See? I went to a bagel shop here in New Westminster the other day, and I said to the young girl at the counter, I said, 12 grains. Can you tell me what those 12 grains are? And she's like, I think there's wheat. And then she turned to the guy she was working with and she said, is Cheerios a grain? I'm like, seriously? You just asked that question? I'm like, oh my God, maybe I'll just take the one grain, the wheat bagel. Crazy. So eating properly is really important. And I try some of the kooky things, like I'm into all the holistic, alternative and everything. My latest one is now if you wear magnets in your shoes. Have you heard about this? This is new. It'll keep you balanced, apparently. Good. You know what? I tried it the other day. I walked by the fridge. I was stuck there for half an hour. Oh, magnets don't work for me. But pets are important. Have any of you got pets? Do you like pets? Yeah? How many cat people? Oh, you're just freaks. That's all right. I'm like a dog person. I like the little, like one of those little shishi cockapoo-poos, Can't tell his ass from his face. But I know, because he has bad breath sometimes, so I always know the chance. He's cute as can be. I take him everywhere. I just love him. He's great. I live here in New Westminster, and sometimes I'll take him on the SkyTrain with me, right? You got these nice, beautiful, sunny days like we got today. I had him take me down the other day to the SkyTrain to visit a friend in Burnaby, and I had him sitting beside me on the SkyTrain. I always get busted by somebody riding the rails that thinks they're in charge of it. And I sit there with my sunglasses on. I got Sparky the Wonder Dog beside me, and I could see this woman making her way through the SkyTrain, and she came over to me. She said, "You can't bring that dog on the SkyTrain." I said, "Yeah, I can. He's my C&I dog." She's like, no, it's not. C&I dogs are German Shepherds. I said, really? What'd they give me?